Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Tom Johnson begins now.
Drugs and firearms were uncovered in a major traffic operation conducted on the state's Midland Highway last night. Authorities and detection dogs were out in full force, undertaking random breath tests and vehicle checks at Melton Mowbray. Police say 4 people were nabbed driving with illicit drugs in their system. A further 4 were summoned for firearms offences, while 3 motorists possessed cannabis. 15 drivers were issued with vehicle defect orders. With an influx of air travel expected post-COVID-19, there are calls for more people to train as pilots to meet the growing demand. One Tasmanian airline today giving locals a chance to test out its planes, hoping to boost student numbers.
Hands at the dashboard, jetting off into the sky. Instructors taking future pilots in the making on board and giving them a taste of life in the air.
It was really exciting, and having never done anything like that before, I'm going to go and talk and find out what some of the courses that they have on offer and try and learn a bit more.
Paravion hosting a hands-on open day, aiming to spark interest after a tough year for the Tasmanian company.
A lot of our students that we take in are from the mainland or international students, so with the lockdowns that sort of affected the numbers that we have enrolled for the start of next year.
Following eased restrictions, flight tours have recently been popular amongst locals.
The charter side of our tours and things are getting some great business in, especially with local Tasmanians wanting to check out the state.
But with interstate borders set to soon reopen and COVID-19 eventually easing globally, the demand for pilots is expected to soar.
Boeing is still predicting 750,000 pilots needed over the next 20 years, with 250,000 in the Asia-Pacific region. So when this gets behind us, which we hope will happen sooner than later, the planes will start flying again, people want to travel and they'll need pilots.
And despite major airlines like Virgin crumbling amid pandemic pressure, Paravion's head says he's positive the industry will bounce back.
Visiting family and friends for tourism, just exploring the world or for work. The world's becoming more and more interconnected, and there's no reason why that's going to change.
Ruby Kamain, 7 Tasmania News.
Dover locals are on a mission to rebuild their prized sailing club after fire tore through the building in April. While the insurance money is in, the club needs an extra helping hand to get back on its feet.
Consumed by a fireball late at night, the impact on Dover's Port Esperance Sailing Club was merciless. Boats and equipment incinerated, everything else was rendered a melted mess. The hardest part was yet to come. Now this is the home of Australia's southernmost yacht club, a dirt patch. Jack Chesterman has been with the club since the 1960s.
It's a shame what's happened now because it was just starting to get going again and now it's got burnt down, so we've been worried about not having a yacht club.
When the building was burnt, it was devastating for our whole community because not only were we in, the COVID lockdown, it was our community place and it's our only community hall in this area.
No one is calling it quits, especially not the club's Commodore.
We've got enough equipment that we're going to keep sailing. We've got sailing fleets, but we need a building. And really for the next 12 months, we'll be very, very busy focusing on getting money and going through the process of the rebuild.
While the insurance money is in, more donations are needed. But with everyone devoted to Dover, hopefully it won't take too long.
Oh, it's very good. It's a laid-back community. Everyone wants to live here. Houses are selling and places booming at the moment.
Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
Despite heavy winter and spring rainfalls, authorities are urging Tasmanians to keep conserving water as we head into the warmer months. The Weather Bureau has predicted La Nina conditions, bringing heavier rain to southeast Australia. However, TasWater says more rain does not always boost water supplies overall due to evaporation and overflow. And warmer than average temperatures also forecast may increase demand for water in summer. Tasmanian athletes have braved wet and windy weather for the launch of the triathlon season. Close to 100 people running and riding around the iconic Symmons Plains racecourse, the first of 5 upcoming races. 15 runners also completed the Burnie 10, which is being held virtually this year.
People who want to do a virtual Burnie 10 or a Burnie 5 can use this as the course for the day. We've got a fully sanctioned course out here, so people can get 2 medals for the price of one.
The Launceston Triathlon Club says it's happy to be back, racing after a disastrous 12 months stunted by last summer's bushfires and COVID-19. Well, it promised to be a spectacle, and this year's TSL Grand Final was no less, with Launceston winning its first flag in 9 years. After a tense start to the match, the Blues rallied in the final term to seal an historic victory.
Elation and emotion, a premiership to savour. None happier than the man at the helm.
The boys have been a breath of fresh air and really supportive, so yeah, very proud of the group.
How does this rate in your career?
It's the best moment I've ever had, by far.
But the road to this point was not an easy one. It was North Launceston who drew first blood.
It's Rushton off the ground, first goal! Jackie Rushton kicks the first.
The theatrics short-lived as the Bombers squandered a host of goal-scoring opportunities and Launceston made them pay.
Riley, that's 3 goals now for Launceston, and they stretch the lead out to 8 points.
A match riddled with rain, but not without fire.
I like my WrestleMania, and this is the Royal Rumble. Clear the house.
The melee only lifting the tempo for the second half.
And he puts it over the goal umpire's hat.
The pendulum swinging back and forth.
To goal to Launceston. Huge goal right on 3/4 time.
So too did the lead in the final term.
Should have taken off the ground, Callow!
Before the Blues booted 2 back-to-back goals, the knockout blow.
Free, taken! Jenkins put it through.
In what has been a tough and challenging year, these scenes are months in the making, and to do it over their city rivals makes it extra special.
Captain Joby Harper awarded the coveted Darryl Baldock medal.
It's nice to win them kind of awards, but the premiership wouldn't mean anything without the premiership.
One side in the thick of post-match celebrations, the other a post-mortem. Garth Burley, 7 Tasmania News.
And the good news kept coming for the Blues, with Launceston redeeming itself after last year's heartbreaking loss in the TSLW decider. Launceston crowned this year's champion after a 7-point win over Glenorchy. In a low-scoring affair, the Blues came out of the battle on top, keeping their opponents goalless the entire match. Star midfielder Mia King was named best on ground.
I can't fault anyone's effort. We all just put 110% in, and I think everyone around the ground just played their role. To be almost 12 months waiting for this moment again, I'm just over the moon, and I'm so glad that we were able to do it today.
The Blues made it 3 from 3 on Grand Final day, with its Development League side edging out the Northern Bombers in a nail-biter. With 3 minutes to go, Jaden Hines booted a monster free kick to put his side ahead by just 2 points, withstanding a desperate charge from the Bombers to reign victorious. In the Southern Football League, Huonville Lions finally have the monkey off their back after storming to a 28-point win in the grand final over Cygnet. Huonville gave up an 11-point lead at half-time to be down by a point going into the final term. But the Lions found another gear, kicking away in the late stages of the game to win 85-57. It's the first flag for the club since 2008, having lost the last 2 deciders. Devonport has claimed its 4th NPL title in 5 seasons. The Strikers downed Launceston City 1-0 at Valley Road to once again be crowned the best in the land. It's also Devonport's 3rd title in a row. In other games, South Hobart thrashed Clarence Zebras 5-0. Riverside Olympic also won 3-0 over Kingborough, while Glenorchy netted 3 against Olympia.
Good evening. A low pressure system brought cool and cloudy conditions to the state today. 13 in Burnie, Devonport reaching 11, Launceston 12 and a high of 10 in Hobart. 16 was the state's top today at Flinders Island, 12 across St Helens and Strawn, Smithton 15 and 11 at Low Head. On the close-up, an area of thick rain-bearing cloud covers Tasmania. Further out, a band of middle and high level cloud extends across central South Australia and over Tasmania, associated with a trough and low pressure system. Tomorrow, low pressure troughs will linger about the far northwest and northeast of the continent. South to southwesterly winds tomorrow 15 to 25 knots. Swells up to 3 metres in the west and south and below 1 metre in the north. A strong wind warning is current for northwestern coastal waters from Sandy Cape to Stanley and for northeastern waters from Cape Portland to Wineglass Bay. A minor flood warning is current for the Jordan River and a flood watch warning for northeastern and eastern river basins. Tomorrow's forecast now partly cloudy and 17 across Hobart and Richmond, ooze 15. In the north, Launceston 18, partly cloudy about Devonport and Deloraine. Burnie tomorrow 17, showers developing at Strawn, Curry, possible showers. And partly cloudy and 16 right across St Helens, Swansea and Whitemark. Looking ahead to the 3-day forecast Monday, showers about the west and far south developing about the north and east. Tuesday fine and partly cloudy with light winds, and Wednesday possible light showers from the afternoon. Capital cities 29 and mostly sunny in Perth tomorrow, Melbourne 15 and Sydney expecting showers. And currently Hobart 8 and rain, Launceston cloudy and Devonport 10 and cloudy. That's all for weather tonight, Tom.
Great stuff. Thanks very much for that, Jackie. Well, that is all your news for now. Thank you for your company this evening. Our coverage from the Gabba is next. Have a great night.